Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at some gameplay that got sent to me with our Vikavolt, which now has access to the move Volt Switch, which is going to be a very cool move, and we're going to see here as well why it's going to be so cool. The thing is, now with the Volt Switch, as well as with the recent Exeter buff plus nerf, like Exeter is now doing the same amount of damage as Surf, which is 20 more than it did before, but also takes 5 more energy than before, which was 35, now it's 40. But this is going to allow you to actually get to 2 Exeters after only 5 Volt Switches, which is really good for you and really important. So definitely a huge upgrade for this one, because it's now going to chunk quite a bit and can fast very fast, which is really cool here. As you can see as well, against the MEWeedle, it's going to do some very nice one. And also, they are running a shiny variant of this Cologne, which is really cool, because I really would have liked one, but I didn't get a single one during the event, even though I played quite a lot and got like 700 plus encounters. But yeah, some people, I guess, were more lucky than I was. Still looking for the pink piggy here, especially as this is the female variant, which is also a little bit more difficult in general to have, because I think it's a 50-50 split, but female is just better for PvP. So here we're going to actually see a relic from older times, which is going to be the Noctowl, which is also going for a Shadow Ball here, which does not really make too much sense, as they are going to be able to win the first game. Oh, second game, this is going to be an interesting lead. We're going to see the Pelipper, and look at the damage output there. They're going to swap out into a Digger Speed. Not sure if you're going to need to throw this one, but you can definitely chip them a little bit, as you can now swap into your Dub Ball, and you will be able to go for the Body Slam spam. If I sound a little bit weird, I have a cold, so like that's most likely why. Also, of course, just woke up, but like also the recent videos I already sound a little bit like, yeah, I don't know. I cannot really breathe through my nose, and I feel like this definitely impacts the commentary, but it's okay, hopefully, as we can now take a look at the matchup against the Pelipper here, which is going to have to take some body slams from this Dub Ball. Maybe even getting a shield here, let's see. Yes, they do, and now they can try to farm them down again with the Vikavolt, but also Vikavolt is fairly decent against Registeel, which is going to be very nice for you, as Registeel is going to only have resisted damage against you. But I think from this range you still have to shield, as Vikavolt is a very squishy Pokemon. But we actually see here the bait from the opponent, getting the attack drop. Very smart decision by them, as they are going to be able to still go for a discharge, which is going to get the knockout. And also we see another one coming through, which is going to get the final shield. And now they're going to use a shield to hopefully farm them all the way down to get a Vikavolt sweep. But sadly, the opponent's Pelipper is still going to be able to reach a Weather Ball here, which is going to get the knockout. But Cologne is going to be able to farm them all the way down. So let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to see a Shadow Snorlax in the lead. This is kind of rarely seen, but it's not a bad Pokemon. It's definitely not a bad Pokemon. I also have one build for the Great League. It's just, I feel like a lot of people just hesitate about this Pokemon, because it's actually fairly decent, because you're going to have access to Super Power, which is going to give you better coverage than, for example, Lickitung. But most people, if they run someone that's like a normal type plus Lick plus Body Slam, you usually would like to see the Lickitung. But I feel like Snorlax has some actually interesting play in the meta. But here we're going to actually encounter a Shadow Shiny Hypno. That's kind of wild. Also, Hypno, I really hope that we're going to get a buff for this Pokemon again. Hypno was like super meta back in the day, but nowadays it's not really. And we're going to encounter a Bastion here in the back, which is going to be very troublesome for your team, as it looks like, because you're not running Dig on your Oinkologne. If you would run Dig on Oinkologne, I think you would have been fine for this team here. But I actually don't think that Trailblaze is going to help you a lot, especially if you consider that your lead is going to be an electric type, which is going to be able to deal with those water types a little bit easier. You don't really need Trailblaze on this Pokemon, so if you would want to change your move, I would most likely suggest you to go for Dig on Oinkologne instead of the Trailblaze, because it's going to give you better coverage for something like a Bastion, but also something like a Galarian Stunfisk if they're still around, or like a Registeel, which I feel like would help this team out a little bit more than the Trailblaze coverage. But yeah, everybody can decide for themselves, I would say. As you're going to have here now the Skarmory against us, which is going to be an interesting one. Skarmory also got nerfed this season, sadly. One of the Pokemon that definitely did not need to get a nerf, but yeah, it's now taking a little bit longer to get to a Sky Attack. As we see a bait here, which is risky, it's double resisted. And yes, we see here as well why it's risky, because the opponent is going to let this move go through. But now we're going to encounter the MEWeedle coming in, which is going to have to take the Exeter. And as we can see right now, now they are going to use a shield, and they're going to have to let this next move go through, as they can go for the Iron Cologne, which is going to be able to farm down the Medicham all the way down, which is going to be very good for them. As they're going to get shielded, let's see what they can do here. They're still going to get hit by a move here, which is most likely going to be the Ice Punch, and this is not going to do too much. As we see, I think it was Azumarill, I think, most likely, yeah. Like, I don't think there's a single other Pokemon that actually would run to around Bubble on their fast move. Bubble is actually such a bad move, but yeah, we're going to see here that the Azumarill are going to be able to get the knockout. But I still think you're fine here. You can for sure take a Charjabug from the opponent, and I think you're going to be able to outspeed them to 3 body slams, because you only need 9 fast moves for that, while the opponent needs 11 to get to 2 play roughs, so I think you're going to find. So this is going to be definitely a decent one for you, especially as you're going to be able to win CMP. You can just go straight. Why do you not go straight for the body slam? You should have not went for the extra fast move there, but you're going to be fine here, still winning the game. But a little bit unnecessary to go for the extra fast move. So let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to see Naltaria in the lead, and we're going to see the body slam coming through here. Of course, swapping out with a double normal backline is fine, but let's take a look. Why do they use a body slam shield there? Like, I don't know why they use a shield on the body slam. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, literally, like, there was no other way that you're gonna get hit there. It was literally just 3 fast moves. You don't have to shield a body slam. But here the opponent going to be able to get to another charge move in time, as you're now gonna let this move go through and go into the Iron Cologne, which is going to have to shield up a Dazzling Beam, which is wild. So they don't even run Moonblast. A Moonblast definitely the better move, but also a Community Day move. So maybe that's the reason why they don't have it. As we're going to see a body slam coming through, again going to be able to outspeed the opponent. This should get the knockout against them. But you're going to be now 1 Pokemon down, and they're going to have a Stunfisk in the back where you're just going to decide to forfeit. Of course, if you don't have Dick, you're going to not be able to really hit this Pokemon, especially not with the Vikavolt. Because the Vikavolt is of course the same typing with a basically similar moveset as the Galvantula, which makes this Pokemon not as unique anyway, because like Galvantula is also very, very strong, and you can actually go for a triple Bug Electric type team now, which is kind of funny, with like the pre-evolution of the Vikavolt plus the Galvantula, which I'm most likely not going to do, but like if someone like, I don't know, Calamon Toast is someone that would run something like this, I would imagine definitely they can do this. But here we're going to be able to just go for the body slam against the opponent, which is going to use a shield there for that one. As are they going to shield this? They are not going to shield this, just Nice Punch, I guess, as they can still go for another body slam here, which is going to get the knockout. That's very nice. Frost in the back can be a little bit tricky for this team, I would say. Vikavolt is going to use a shield here, but you have Trailblaze in the back, I guess, but like you're gonna go for an Exeter here to try to bait out a shield, which I guess does make sense. They're going to use a shield here, and we're going to see the swap with the Exeter being still stored, but you still have to get them lower. Exeter is resisted, Ghost type is resisting the Bug typing, so you're going to have to get some more damage onto the opponent, and they're going to knock you out here, but no, they actually undercharge against you, allowing you to still get to a body slam, and I feel like this was a huge mistake by the opponent, because I think they could have just farmed down your Vikavolt. But here you're going to be able to still go for the Exeter and win this game with this one. As we can now move on to the next game, which is going to be the Lickitung in the lead. Lickitung is going to be one of the more annoying Pokemon to deal with, but we're going to see the Deoxys defense swapping in. We will see the Payback is going through, going to do some decent damage, as you can go for a Body Slam afterwards, but you're not going to go straight for it. The opponent going to go for a Rock Slide first, and now you can go for the Body Slam afterwards to hopefully get the knockout against the Deoxys. We will see the shield coming up, but you can still reach another one. Why do you overfarm so much? Oh god, that was so close, man. Like, you literally have 1 HP left for that one. Could have been a little bit easier. Was also, I don't think it was decent in terms of the energy alignment. I'm not sure. But we will see here the Lickitung coming back in, which you can now counter with the Iron Cologne, which also has the shield advantage, which you're going to keep for the Vikavolt, as it seems like. But we will see the swap out now into the Sableye. I'm not too happy with this Trailblaze. Or maybe this Trailblaze put the opponent into Exeter range. Then I guess it would be a decent play here. But the opponent going to shield anyway, so I guess, like, I think it was kind of unnecessary, to be fair. But I don't think it's going to hurt you too much, as you're going to be able to outspeed the opponent for sure, as Exeter charges just so fast after the first one, which is just wild. You need 20 turns total to get to 2 Exeters, which is really good. So here we're going to now see the discharge coming through, which is going to do, I think, a little bit more than the Surf. I don't know actually the stats for Discharge, which I'm going to check up now at the back as well, but I'm very certain, like the Surf, I want to say, of course, Exeter is of course a Surf clone, so I'm not sure if Exeter is now the better move to go for in general, just by damage output. Let me check real quick, because I'm really curious about this, as we're going to see. I think this is, yes, it's a Lantern in the lead. Discharge is doing the exact same amount as Exeter. That's absolutely right, I didn't know this either. So, like, there is no reason in neutral matchups to go for the Discharge. Good to know. Please go for Exeter in neutral matchups. Exeter is the exact same damage, but with 5 less energy than Discharge. I actually thought the Discharge was like 70 damage, but it's only 65, the same as the Exeter. So, for you, if you want to play this one, something that I also only learned now, because I have not played a single Pokemon with Exeter as well as Discharge, but they have the same amount of damage, which is really interesting to see. So, definitely something to keep in mind, as this is going to be definitely very good if you want to play yourself, like the Garvantula or like the pre-evolution of a Charjabug, which I'm definitely going to showcase later on my channel. So for sure, make sure to subscribe if you want to see some Charjabug gameplay. But here we're going to now see the opponent going to shield up against the Oinkologne with their Greedent. I think you can let this move still go through and you still survive it. Yeah, okay. And you can see that the opponent going to swap out into the Lantern here, which you're going to use a shield against the Surf. You might have to use another shield here, as the Surf is coming through again. But I think you can just hopefully farm them all the way down at this point of time. But they actually still get to another Surf, and this is going to be very unfortunate, as this Surf is going to get the knockout here. Oinkologne is not going to be able to win this game anymore, as the Greedent still has a charge move stored, and that's going to be it for this game. Good game to the opponent, but there is not a lot that you were able to do there. Next opponent, we're going to have PokeK here. We're going to have the Shadow Mawile with the Firefang. I don't think it's PokeK. I cannot say, of course, because we don't see the names here, but of course, Shadow Mawile is going to go through here, as you also see the Shadow Swampert in the back. So I'm hopefully going to see another Shadow Pokemon in the back if we have already the double Shadow team here. But we will see the Body Slam coming through. We're going to get the shield advantage. No, not the shield advantage, actually just the shield from the opponent, as you're also actually going to be already shields down at this point, which is kind of awkward. But you will be able to go for another Body Slam, and you're going to get the knockout against the Swampert, as we will see the Alolan Ninetales coming in. It's actually a triple Shadow team. That's something that I really like. I kind of want to build a triple Shadow team as well soon on my channel. Hopefully have some ideas for some cool content coming up as well. Something that I also want to say, top battles of the week is going to not return anymore. Like, I'm going to just scrap the series. It does not really get too much attention. I have a different thing that I want to do or like try out as a short series for that slot, so definitely stay tuned for this one. But just because I saw like some people also kind of were asking whether they can submit it or whatever, I put it basically out of the description for that stuff, just so you know. But here we're going to actually see the Discharge coming through, which is definitely the better play, as the other one would be double resisted with the bug typing, and going to get the knockout against the Mawile, winning there, as we will now see the final battle of today going to be against a Sableye, and this is going to be interesting here, as we will see the Exeter coming through, and we will also now see the shield coming up. I think you're going to be able to win this matchup in the 2-shield scenario for sure, because Exeter is of course going to do some very decent damage, but I think you need a little bit of Volt Switch damage in order to knock them out. Exactly, so 2-shield scenario against Sableye, I think you're going to be able to win usually, but anything else is going to be a little bit tricky. Speaking of a little bit tricky, we're going to have here the Azumarill, basically being on the worst possible matchup, as you have Trailblaze on your little Oinkologne, as well as you have, of course, the electric type coverage on your lead. So this is going to be a little bit of an awkward one, but you can still go for some damage here at least, thanks to the Body Slam. You're going to not be able to survive this flavor. I actually thought you would be, but the opponent has to take some Volt Switches now, which is going to be fine. You're going to actually just say, like, screw the Vikavolt, just go straight into Oinkologne, and now you have Oinkologne against 3 different Pokemon. At least you're going to be able to get to the Trailblaze before the opponent gets to their charge move, which is going to get you an attack buff, and we see the Noctowl coming in here right now. So can the Piggy actually win this game? Of course, you're going to have the attack buff, which is going to be very important, but the opponent actually going to swap out into the Sableye. You can just go for the Body Slam spam, but I'm fairly certain that even one Body Slam that's going to hit here is not going to put them into a farm down range. I think like at least Noctowl still kept its bulk, so it should be very bulky. Yes, you still have to reach another one. Can you get to the next Body Slam in time, as well as they can still go for... Why do they all go for Shadow Ball today? I just don't even know anymore. That's going to be it for today's video. They actually BM them here. That's kind of funny, to be fair. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. You're going to see later on some gameplay for Charjabug, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.